Welcome back, guys, to the CFB Rundown. I am your host, JT Hill, and today we're just going to be doing some pretty early college football predictions for the Power 4 teams. And when I say early, they're early. Tomorrow's March 1st, just to give you context. So it's early. We're about 7 months early, but who cares? Let's get it started. And just so you know, these are some pretty controversial predictions, and just know that this is my opinion because I'm even saying that some of these I already know won't happen. This is just wild predictions that I could potentially see happening. So let's get right into it. We're going to go SEC, Big 10, Big 12, ACC. So if you're wanting to watch a certain conference, I'll probably try and put timelines so that you guys can see, but we're going to go in that order. So SEC, Texas wins the conference. The SEC is extremely hard to predict, and it's just all over the place. I don't even think. I think there were some losing records. There was a good amount, actually. But there's a lot of winning records, and the difference between the SEC and the Big Ten is the Big Ten is super top heavy. The SEC, the depth is insane. And, I mean, Kentucky, LSU was like 13th in the conference, 12th, 11th in the conference, and they had a winning record. It is deep. So when I say it's hard to predict, it's very hard to predict. But I would be very disappointed if Texas didn't finish top three. I'm saying that they're winning the conference, but if they don't even make top three, I would be very disappointed because SEC is a very hard conference to play in. But the roster work that they have done in the transfer portal and just overall roster in general is you have to. You have to be in national championship contenders. You have to be atop the AP poll, and you have to win your conference. Worst case scenario, you're top three. So, yeah, Texas, you got to do good. Next team, next prediction. I think the most improved team will be Auburn. They went 5-7 last season. They only had one conference win, and they just hired Alex Golish and got some great transfers. And I think they're going to be pretty solid. Auburn has had a little bit of a rough patch lately, past couple seasons, but I think the future is bright. They got a pretty good coach, and they got some good transfers. Byron Brown going to be leading the Tigers to hopefully a winning record since, I don't know, at least 3 seasons. They have not been good lately. Third prediction, let's go LSU will make the college football playoff. This is another one kind of like Texas. I'd be disappointed if LSU did not make it. They stole Sam Leavitt in the transfer portal, and they stole, I wouldn't say stole Sam Leavitt, but they definitely stole their coach, Lane Kiffin, from the Ole Miss Rebels. But LSU has a pretty good roster, and just whenever I see that combo between Lane Kiffin and Sam Leavitt, I just get scared there. And I think LSU will be a solid team making it to the CFP. And then we got another CFP prediction. Alabama will not make it. Now, I think there's some debates going on who will start for Alabama. And there's definitely going to be a QB battle. So with the QB uncertain, I'm a little bit skeptical of Alabama. Now, I could be saying this and then they don't lose a single game. But I think Alabama will regress a little bit after making the CFP and losing the second round to Indiana. My last prediction is Kentucky wins a bowl game. And as a Louisville fan, that's hard to say. But their coach is just so legit. Their QB is pretty good. They got Kenny Minchie from Notre Dame. He was a backup. But their coach just, I've watched his press conferences. He just seems so confident. And I think he can turn this Kentucky program around quick. But for Kentucky to win a bowl game, let alone get to 6 wins, that is very tough. Because let me just tell you their SEC schedule. Alabama, Texas A&M, LSU, Oklahoma, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Florida, Missouri. Now, Florida, Missouri, I don't know how they're going to be, especially Tennessee too with their QB, but that schedule is a nightmare if you're a Kentucky fan. But I think that they're going to upset some teams, and I think that they're going to win a bowl game. I think their floor is 2 wins. I think they could very well. I think their floor is 3 wins. I think they could probably get one SEC win, and then win their 2 non-conference games, and then lose to Louisville. But I'd say their ceiling is 8 wins, which is a pretty high ceiling. I think if they beat Louisville, they win all their non-con games, and they beat Missouri, Florida, Tennessee, maybe Vanderbilt, you're looking at an 8-win team right there, 7 to 8-win team. So it's doable for Kentucky, but that's my last prediction for the SEC, that Kentucky wins a bowl game. Now let's go Big Ten. I think that the Big Ten will have 4 bids into the college football playoff. I'm just going to throw out some teams there. Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana, Michigan. You could throw in USC, Washington with Damon Williams Jr. returning. Penn State, which I'm going to get into them later. But yeah, I like the Big Ten a lot. I think that they're going to be a little bit more depth-wise, kind of like the SEC. And I think that they could get 4 teams into the college football playoff. Last year, I want to say they had 3. They had Ohio State, Indiana, and Oregon. And then SEC had 5. So Big Ten got to step their game up a little bit. But yeah, I think the Big Ten gets 4 bids into the CFP. Told you I was going to talk about Penn State. I think they're going to get 9 wins next season. Don't know if they'll make the CFP, but I think they're going to get to 9 wins. Let me just show you their schedule real quick. Marshall, win that. Temple, win that. Buffalo, that's 3 wins right there. You're already not halfway there, but you're getting close. You're a third of the way there. Wisconsin, that's a home game. That should be a win. Northwestern, they could definitely win that. That's 5 wins right there. USC, might lose that game. 5-1. Michigan, might lose that game. 5-2. Purdue, probably going to win that game. They're 6-2. Washington, that's a close one. Could win that. 7-2. Minnesota, they're going to win that one. Rutgers and Maryland, we'll say they lose to Washington. If they lose to Michigan, Washington, and USC, win the rest of their games, they're a 9-win team right there. It is doable for Penn State. Rocco Becht is going to be leading them, and I like Matt Campbell as their head coach, and I really think that this Penn State team can be good, or they could suck and be the overrated Penn State that a lot of people like to call them, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think that they could very well get to 9 wins. Next prediction, the national champion is not going to be from the Big Ten. I don't know what conference it's going to be from. If it's not going to be from the Big Ten, we could very well guess the SEC. But you never know. Maybe a Big 12 team, BYU, Texas Tech, makes a big run. ACC, only team I could see making a big run is Miami, which we'll get into them later. But yeah, the national champion is not from the Big Ten. And next one, I think the Big Ten will get the most bowl wins out of every conference. And this is including the semifinal games, I think, and quarterfinal games. So the most bowl wins, including the playoffs. Just a fun little prediction. I think that they're going to have a lot of bowl wins. And then most improved team is Maryland. They went 4-8 last season, and I think that they could very well get to 8 wins. We'll just go with their schedule real quick. Their schedule, play UConn first. Sorry, they play Hampton first. That should be a win. They play UConn second. Should be a win. Then they play Virginia Tech. That could be a loss. UCLA could be a win. Nebraska, a lot of uncertainty with them. That very well could be a win. Ohio State, probably going to lose that. Rutgers, very well could be a win. Illinois, not going to be as good as last season. That could be a win. Wisconsin, and then they finish off with USC and Penn State. So that could very well be a 7 to 8 win team, which is a lot better than having 4 wins last season and only getting 1 conference win. And this Maryland team, I want to say, they lost like 4 straight games, and the total amount that they lost by was like 10 points. And it was to good teams too. It was to Nebraska, which early on Nebraska was pretty good. It was to Washington, which they weren't that bad either. And they were just this close from being an 8-win team last season. And when you look at their roster, they have Malik Washington, who's returning, and just a big player that I think that they got is Zion E. Lee. He's a defensive, I think he's an edge rusher, and he's a 5-star recruit out of Maryland, so good home recruiting by Maryland. I think he was like top 5 player in the nation, so I think he's going to have a pretty good season. And that Maryland defense wasn't that bad last season, so I think that they're going to be the most improved team on a standpoint of who sucked the most last season, which Maryland was horrible. Let's go Big 12. I think the Big 12 will have 2 bids back-to-back years. This is pretty easy to see. It could very well be Texas Tech, BYU, Utah, Arizona State. Maybe throw a little Arizona in there. Maybe throw Oklahoma State. Which, speaking of Utah, I think that they will make the Big 12 championship. Now, this could be a little bit of like a underdog pick, but I think Devon Dampier is that guy. And Utah definitely lost some players, but I think that they're going to shock everyone and make the Big 12 championship. Speaking of Oklahoma State, I think they're going to be the most improved team. They went 1-11 last season, and they got a good coach and they got a good QB. New QB, Drew Mestemaker, he was one of the best QBs in the transfer portal. Oklahoma State's going to be good. I would not want to play them if I was a Big 12 team. And I think the Heisman will be in the Big 12. I don't know who it could be, but I feel like the Big 12 is going to make some noise this season. So pretty quick on the Big 12, let's head on the ACC. ACC is going to have 1 bid. Sucks to say that as a Louisville fan, but I don't see them having 2 bids this season. It's just so weak, and there's 3 good teams. I'd say Miami, Louisville, not to be biased. SMU, they have Kevin Jennings still. I don't know. That's not very good. I mean, you can say North Carolina. Just kidding. They suck. But, yeah, I think this is a kind of a shocking one. California will have 9 wins. I don't know how to say their QB's last name. Go look it up. I bet you can't either. But I watched him play, and he's legit. And I think that they can definitely be a 9-win team. I haven't checked out their schedule, but I think they're going to be like that Indiana-type team that, like, shocks everyone. Don't know how they did in the portal, but something about California, they just get me excited. Virginia will regress very heavily. I think there's some drama stuff going on with Chandler Morris and trying to get his 7th year of eligibility. I don't know whether they have Chandler Morris or not. He's not a good QB. Just go watch the tape. He's not a very good QB. I don't know what else to say. I mean, Virginia should not have been that good last season. I think they finished 11-3. But yeah, watch the tape. You'll see. SMU will make the ACC championship. This is kind of an underdog pick. Also, ACC, I'm kind of past through. I've been a little bit crazy, but they still have Kevin Jennings, and I think he can lead the way for SMU. Now, once again, I don't know how they did in the portal. I wasn't tracking that, but I think SMU is going to surprise most people, and I mean, it wouldn't be a surprise because of how bad the ACC is, but yeah, I think SMU will make the ACC championship. probably going to be playing Miami. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for today's podcast. Hopefully y'all like it. Hopefully it makes your day a little bit better. It's been JT checking out. See you.